Hey everybody, welcome back. And today on the stream, as usual, we're going to continue working on Sub Squad. We are going to continue building the workplace or continue building the marketplace that we started yesterday. Mostly because it's not done and we want it to be done. It's in a, I'm going to say, functional state, sort of. I haven't worked on it at all since the stream, so nothing else has changed. But it's basically the searchable seasons are available there, but they are it's we don't have a way to, number one, have an admin actually create these. Right now we're just manually making them, and then the second thing is this doesn't look very nice. Like, let's be honest, like this looks not great at all. And so on today's stream, what I want to do is first, I want to I want to make it look nicer, right? So like formatting the text so it doesn't look so plain. One of the other things I want to do is, right now the price, like the buy-in price, is just like an integer, and that's really in cents. So we need to have a way to format that so that it's in dollars and cents, and obviously make that look a little nicer. And then also, like, the contact button, we might want to do something with that. We'll kind of see how it goes. And then the text is obviously not great. This all looks super boring. And so the idea is that we are going to make this look a little bit more presentable. So if we refresh this and expand this, like, all this is just really boring text. So I want to spend some time working on that and just making it a little bit better. I don't think it's going to be fully production ready by the end of this stream, but it's going to be close. So I have a little less than an hour, or a little less than 2 hours. I've got about maybe an hour and a half, hour and 45 kind of thing till I got to go. But we'll see how much progress we can make on this in that time. So let's get started here. So if we go into our marketplace item, no, not this one. That's the logic for it. We want the marketplace item.blade. So this is, each one of these instances here is one of these marketplace items. So this is where we're going to be spending the majority of our time today. So the first thing I want to do is I want to just like make the text a bit bolder for the like the current members should be bold kind of thing. And same with like looking for and pick pattern, seats, section, notes, that kind of thing. So kind of the headers of each of those, I guess you could call them sections, whatever. So let's scroll down here to our section seats pick pattern. And so let's go span class equals font. Let's try semi-bold. Span, let's just see what that looks like. Hard to tell, but it doesn't look like it's enough. So let's try that. It is still not doing anything. Am I looking at the wrong place? I am. I'm looking at section. Okay, so section is what we're working on right now. So let's put that back to section, or to semi-bold, sorry. Semi-bold looks fine. Okay, so let's go like this. Let's get rid of... okay, so we're gonna visual mode and control D. Oh. Span class equals font semi-bold. Span and close that span. Okay, so current members is bold. Looking for, yeah, that's fine. And I want to actually make this new members. That's a little more obvious. looking for 2 new members. And actually, we can put this in. So we will use the the stir helper. So what this will do is it'll pluralize the word members if there's obviously zero or 2 or greater kind of thing. But if it's 1, then it will only show member. So like if we go into SQL Ace here, we'll just change one of these manually to 1 just so you can see what I'm saying. Ticket season searches, pardon me. Let's just change this one to 1. So if we refresh this, so now member, it's like not pluralized with member if this is 1. It's pluralized if it's 2 or greater kind of thing. So it's a nice little helper that Laravel offers. So looking for 1 new member. Okay, cool. And then let's go down to the other sections here. Oops. Span class equals font semi-bold to match what's above. And close that span tag. Close that span tag. Okay, and so now these headings should be, a little better. And I'm going to do notes down here. Okay. Cool, so that looks a little better. And then let's work on the money thing. Now, I believe I saw some in like the most recent update for Laravel, there was a number helper that actually did currency. Okay, so if we, so number, format, currency. Okay, so now this is a little bit unfortunate because it's saying like 10 is $10. So we might have to divide it by 100 to get it, including the cents, but that's okay. So let's go into our buy it price and we'll say, number, was it 2 currency? Okay, so 2 currency divided by 100 to get our cents. Let's see if that's going to work. Right, so we need to provide the full class. Eliminate support numbers. Wait. Eliminate support number to currency does not exist. That seems incorrect unless we're running an older version of Laravel, but I'm sure I've run Composer updates since then. Number. Spell, percentage, ordinal, format, for humans. Is there like, okay, so it's just currency. Okay, so they changed it from the docs. Oops. Okay, so now that should work and we have money. Okay, so the other thing we want to do is we want to make this a bit bigger, obviously. We'll try text 3XL font bold. Maybe 2XL. Okay, I like that size. I do want to add a space Y1 to give it a little more breathing room. Maybe try 2. Oops. Yeah, that's better. Okay, the other thing I want to do is, so right here, I don't know if you can see, but the logo is actually has a, I'm guessing like a Z index higher than the text. And so you can't actually select the text if you want from the beginning. So we're just going to set a negative Z of 10 just so that it sits behind the text. And now we can, there we go. Now we can select it properly. Okay. So what else do we got? Okay, so the border I'm really not excited about around this. It's a little jarring. I think what I'd rather do is just have the background of this this div a little bit lighter than the background so that it's just easier to see in general. So instead of saying, pardon me, let's just say BG slate 800. Just see what that looks like. It looks okay, but I don't like how it kind of, well, actually, if we get rid of that, okay, and then let's try, again, we're just playing around here. I don't have any kind of preconceived notion of what I really want this to look like, so this is just kind of playing around here. What if we do shadow, can we do shadow bottom? No, okay, so shadow MD, sure. Okay, so that gives it a little bit of separation, a little bit anyways. Let's try even larger shadow. It still doesn't seem like the shadow is getting applied here. Unless, no, it's not. Yeah, like you can see it, it's back there, but it's not applying over top of this div. And that, if we say Z, there's no Z index on here, so let's say set a Z index of 10. Okay, well, I'm generally happy with that. Seats, yeah. No, I think we should figure out this centering issue. So if we go to the marketplace, blade. Okay, so if we say flex call justify center, is that going to give us what we want? No, it's not. Item center. No, that's also not going to give us what we want. I wonder if, okay, and I'm not great with grid, but if we go grid calls 1, does that put us in the middle? Okay, and then what am I missing here? Okay, so if we just shrink this to here, width full. So that should make them take up the entire thing. Okay, so now if we say width, say 2/3, okay, and then why are those not going to the center? Is it like MX Auto that I'm missing? Let's try. I'll try a div equals MX Auto, and then this is going to be a grid calls 1. Well, I am thoroughly flummoxed. This is very frustrating. Center, justify center. That should be all we should need to do. Justify center. Okay, that's kind of what we're looking for. They're not nearly wide enough, but that's okay. Why is full? If anyone in the chat has any ideas, please feel free to shout them out if you're not already shouting at your screen. Yeah, I don't understand why width, like if we say max width 7XL, like when we set a width, why is that changing that? Not, yeah, there's no Java or Tailwind compile issues. I do not understand this. So if we go back to our picker here for a second, why is it only using flex overflow hidden? So let's collapse that. Okay, so if we say width 2/3 here, should it not take up? Okay, so it's the MX Auto here that's messing with us. At least partially. Like why? Say width full, like why is it putting it back in the left there? If we go tailwind grid. Okay, so we only want one column. And align content. That's the vertical align. We want the justify content. So justify center. And of course we need flex. Right. So then we're not going to be able to do that. I don't think justify center works on grid. If we add flex call, and I'm sure we just did this. Now we should, because we're in flex call. There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay. That was a 15 minutes of my life I'll never get back. Okay, so we have the people looking for these wrapped up in a proper div. We're gonna have to re-add some spacing here because they're not right now. So we will do space Y4. Is that enough? Maybe space Y6. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So now the other thing we need to do is we need to make this a bit more responsive because right now it is not. That looks horrible. So if we keep shrinking this down, that is not a nice looking box. So what we will do is let's close out of here. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have the image, this one right here, show up and in the top, because right now it's sitting kind of in the middle. I want it on the top left. So because we're absolutely positioned, we can just go top 0, left 0, I believe. And that should push it up to the top left. Yep. Maybe let's say top 8. Give it like kind of inset a little bit. Okay, that's too much. Let's try 4. Okay, so that's good. So now it's just kind of inset a little bit from the corner, which is kind of what we want. And then we will unhide that, and we will go and we will say, for now, we'll just set this in as a medium breakpoint. I don't know if that's actually going to be the right place, but we'll figure that out in a minute. So we'll say text LG. That's going to be too small, so let's say 2XL. Yeah, that's fine. Now, how do we want to do this? Okay, so what I'm thinking about is like for the design, let's go back to Excalibur for a second here. And so we'll just make a copy of this. We are gonna, you know what? Let's just get rid of this whole thing because right now I don't care about the whole thing. We just care about like what one of these boxes is gonna look like when it's a lot smaller. And so what I'm thinking is so the text is going to get smaller, and I can go into 2 lines. I just want to change the opacity of that so it's not so obvious. Okay, so Calgary Flames, yep. This is going to be over in the corner here. And so what I'm thinking about is like on the smaller resolutions, I think what we really want, we only want 2 things. We want the name of the team and the price to buy in, and everything else can sit in this, in the kind of details drop down, like the current member is looking for. And then obviously we'll have the contact button on here. But basically the only things, if you're on mobile, that you're going to see are the team name and the price, and then you can kind of expand it for more details. So let's make this a little more accurate as to what it's going to look like. So let's say like this. Okay, we'll shrink these all down. And okay, so we can zoom in a bit here. And we'll make this a little taller, and the contact button can kind of go in the middle or something. Oops. Come on, text. Do your thing. Okay, well, this is going to be the idea is going to be like a wider button across the whole bottom there. So let's go back to our thing here. So we're going to say, so current members is not going to show until, so it's going to be hidden, and it's going to be on, again, we'll play with the actual spacing in a second. I'm just using a medium as kind of just a placeholder for now. I don't know if that's actually what it's going to be. So looking for hidden on empty block. Oh, duh. Okay, so let's undo these last couple changes. Text to Excel. Okay, so this has to go on the div. I want to put these on their own thing there. Okay, so class equals hidden, and then on medium breakpoint we want to show it, and then the same thing here. Class equals hidden empty block. Okay, so those have gone away. Okay, and then we're going to say on we're going to say flex call, and then medium flex row. Yep. So I should now put the text underneath there. Now I'm curious why there's a space there. Why is it right aligning to that text, to that div? Oh, items end when we're in flex row. So that's going to have to be right. Okay. So, yep. And then this is just going to be text XL medium to XL. And flex row. So we're going to say space Y. Let's try 3, and then medium space Y0. Whoa. Okay, so it's a little, that's probably a little too much. Space Y2. Okay. And on this text, I want it to be text. So I think by default we're text white. So let's say slate 200. Make it a little less impactful. Maybe 300 to make it a little more obvious. Okay. And the last thing I want is for this div to be width full, medium, width auto. Oh, right. Class equals width full. All right, it's not going to let me do that, so we will go width, I don't know, 48. Just play around with this. Width 48. Too big. Okay, so let's try 36. Sure, that looks fine. And also on small breakpoints, we want some margin top to push it down just a little more. Turn that off. So yeah, I want the contact button a little further down. So we will say class MT4 medium is MT0. MT8. 6. Okay, and then we're going to say text medium, medium text XL. Sure. Nope. And we're going to say P1, and then on medium P2. Yeah, so that looks a bit better. So that's going to be the team name. That's going to be the price. And then on these, on the drop down, let's go down here. And so we will say, let's pull these. So we're going to need them. MD hidden. Okay, and width 3/4. So really we want it width full. On medium, we want it to be width 3/4 so that it takes up the full space. Yep. And then we'll just, so we'll say again, flex call, medium flex row. And then we will also say space y2 medium space y0. Give us a little more space here. And then also we want to say text SM medium text medium. Yeah, that looks a little better. Okay. Okay, and now let's see where things actually snap at the medium breakpoint. Okay, so we're going to want something at the small because this is way too big. Yeah, like at this is still the small breakpoint and it's still way too small. So let's go add some small breakpoint styles to make this look a little bit better. Okay, so where were we here? So this text is going to be at the SM breakpoint. We're going to say text 3XL. And this one we're going to say SM text. Ooh. Yeah, so this is the small breakpoint here. So let's actually make this the small breakpoint. Okay, I like that. But this button here, so we're going to say at the small breakpoint, makes me sad that we can't just do width full. Can we do width full here? Can, even better. Okay, so there, now it's full. And then at the larger breakpoint, it's going to snap to just like a normal contact. Cool. Okay, so what did we break there? So now these are not... okay, so current members, what's up here, item center, right, because so what we really need is this should be flex 1, so this should take up oh, right. Okay, so we had width full, but at the medium breakpoint, just width auto. That's all it needs to be. Okay, cool. Okay, so it's full size, full size, full size, then we snap, and now it's just the normal size contact button. I like that way better. Okay, and so the next thing we need to do is worry about this stuff. So do we need to actually change anything? No, I think that's fine. Yeah, that looks okay. Like it's not perfect, but I'm not a designer, so I'm satisfied with that. The only thing I think I might do is change the size of the text still on the smallest breakpoint. Oops. So let's go, we'll say text XS. Yeah. And as it gets bigger, the text gets bigger. There we go. Cool. Okay, so that looks way better, I think. Now, the last thing we need to worry about is the contact button, because right now, this is going to show up for everyone. And the idea is that we only want to show the contact button for someone who's logged in, which is super easy with Laravel because we can just say if they're logged in, they get the off button. If they're not, they just don't see the off button. Because right now, I don't believe I'm actually logged in. If I go to dashboard, it should prompt me to log in. Perfect. And if I go to log in, now I go to the marketplace. Contact button's back. Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. So, okay, so let's go back to Notion for a second. So we formatted the money from int to dollars and cents. Awesome. Work on spacing. That's done. Okay, so is there anything else that needs to happen right now? I don't think so. So I think what we can start working on next now is the ability for an admin to actually say, okay, I have a season and I'm looking for new members. So let's go take a look at, let's close these first. And let's say marketplace test. Edit. Okay, so shows a list of all ticket seasons that are searching for new members. Okay, so I can go through and actually implement these tests because most of them are things that we've just done. But let us create a new test. So go art make test. Add season to marketplace test. Cool. Add season to marketplace test. Awesome. Okay, so we'll actually start writing some empty tests here first, and then we'll actually go about implementing them. So what are the things that we need to know about when someone wants to add their season to a marketplace? So first thing is it can only be accessed by, and when I talk about this, we're talking about the form that the person is going to fill out. So the route and the page that is going to be accessed by the admin. So it can only be accessed by the admin of the season, right? So like just a random user, a random member of the group can't just post that they're searching for more people. Okay, so it can only be accessed by the admin of the season. So what are the fields that we care about? So it prompts the admin for the number of people they are looking for to join their group. What else? It prompts the, you know what, I'm not even going to say the admin because that's a given. Prompts for the section the seats are in. It prompts for the number of seats that number of seats feels weird, like the number of seats that are included in each game. Yeah, that works. And it prompts for any extra notes to be added. Okay, so are those all the fields? I feel like we're missing a few. So that's implied. That's implied. New members. Oh, the price, right. It prompts for a buy-in price. Seats count, we got section and notes. Okay, so that's everything. Okay, so buy-in price, number of people, section, seats, notes. Yep. All right. So let's just start hacking away, pardon me, at a basic form that we can use that the admin will be able to access for this feature. So we'll go art, make, livewire, add season 2 marketplace. Yep. And then we will go into our routes file. And we will say, okay, so you have to be logged in definitely for this. So route get season, and we'll move this up in a second here, season, add to marketplace. And this is going to be the market, add season to marketplace class. Yep. Invalid route action, add season to marketplace. That's fine. Livewire. Add season to marketplace. Cool. Okay, so that should be okay now. Undefined. Did I type that wrong? Add app, add season to marketplace. I'm going to say you're wrong. Let's put this up here. Okay, so if we go into our board here and we just say admin for now, we're just going to have to manually type it. And we're just going to say add to marketplace. Okay, so the route does work. It's just the code editor is not having fun. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we can close that. So let us go to add season to marketplace. And so what are the things we need here? So for our mount method, yep. Whoa. Let us take in the ticket season. I swear I will never get used to this. Okay, so we want to say public ticket season, yep. And we want to say this season equals season. We also want to say I think it's with authorization. Hold on, let's go admin season. Authorizes requests. Okay, that's what it's called. Use authorizes. Okay, so we have our mount method. We're taking in the season, and now we are going to say, actually, I guess we can just kind of pull this out as well. So for the, because we need this. Okay, so mount method, now make sure that the person who's viewing this is actually the admin. And so we can say, let's go and put some fields on this thing. It's going to look super ugly right now, but again, we will make it look better. I believe believe, actually, I think we have, is there a form we can use? I'm just trying to think of, sports teams. Okay, now this is obviously not like a good form. Or I mean, it works, but it's like we're gonna have to make some changes to it. So, so this is going to be, that's fine. So we're going to say, how much will someone have to pay to join for a season? Okay, so we can say, I think there's a couple of better input fields down here. Nickname, sure. And type text, and we'll say, oh, right. Okay, so name is going to be buy-in price. And the value is going to be nothing. And we're going to wire this up to our buy-in price. I think we can just do it like this. So if we say now public string buy-in price, okay, and then if we just just going to dump this out for now, actually, DG. Just want to make sure that we're actually capturing the right thing here. So if we say buy-in price, team, where is also, oh, what did we call this one? Buy-in price. Cool. Okay, so text, we need to fix the color there, but it is showing up there, so that's good. Okay, we need to say where is so the label. What's the best way to do this? I'm just thinking out loud here. So these are text sync 200. So let's just say the default is always going to be text gray 900. And this is the defaults. We can obviously overwrite them. Text zinc 200. Okay, so now we can at least see them. So let's get rid of. Okay, so $sign. So we're going to say $560, for example. Okay, that's good. We can get rid of that. And so I believe the add 2 of those. Okay, so it's making 2. Perfect. Okay, so the next one is, so we're going to cost, how many new members? Oh, it sucks. Okay, it's just like, how many new members are you looking to add to the group? Cool. And so again, we will change this to new members. New members. New members. Okay, and then let's add that to here. Okay, so we don't actually want a label here. So if we get rid of that, is it going to offset them? Yeah, it is. That sucks. Okay, so then let's do it like this. Let's add a width of hard width so that we can then hard code it here too, even if we're not actually doing anything with it. Yeah, so now they're aligned. Cool. Okay, next one, what do we got? New members. Okay, we got the buy-in price, we got the new members. How many seats total? So let us how many seats are included for each game? Okay, so what did we call this one? Seats count. Cool. Okay, so we should be able to go Control D, Control D, Control D, seats count. Cool. How many seats are included? All right. And then actually, I'm wondering, okay, so instead of having this $ here, what if, I should have been thinking about this before since I used to do this way back in the Bootstrap days, God forbid. So let's go like this. So span, and we're going to put a $ in the span. And we are also going to say width full rounded MD, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. It's going to look horrible because all we have to do now is just get rid of the border on the left, or sorry, yeah, on the right of this. So rounded form input. So I'm curious if it's that because we're not actually saying border here. So if we get rid of that, okay, that's fine. So now if we say Okay, so the background's already set. We can even make this 500, and we'll make it 500 regardless of whether you're in light or dark mode, since it doesn't matter. We want it to just text MD, and we want to say border. I thought there was a way. Can we do left, top, bottom? Is that a thing? No. Border left. Of course not. Border white. I just want to see if we can get a border showing up, and it doesn't want to. Conflicting. No. How did we used to do this? In fact, on the admin season page, we actually do that with the email address. Let's go take a look and see. Admin season. Yes. Deadline. So if we, how many picks per round? Okay, so where is, we go to the admin. So what I'm basically trying to accomplish is this, like this inset button here. That's just part of the input field. So it's the invite code one. So invite code. Okay, so it's okay. So let's yank that entire thing. And again, most of it's going to go away, but that's okay. We're just going to use it temporarily. Okay, so the input, we want to put this on top. So this can be deleted because that's going to be this. And then reorganize that, get rid of that. Okay, so okay, so it's on the wrong side, which is fine. So the button has border, so rounded R, so we want that to be rounded left, and border R has 0. Okay, and so rounded L, SM, is that not a thing now? Why does this keep shrinking? Okay, and so rounded, so this is going to have to be rounded right MD. Rounded LMD. So why are these? Do we have to put it in the other order? Rounded SM, L. What am I missing? Just get rid of these. Yeah, so there's no rounding there at all, which should be happening with this dark rounded SM. Shouldn't be any border on anything there. Okay. So now, flex, rounded MD, rounded SM. If we do that, does it at least bring roundedness back? It does not. Why not? What are we not doing here? We bring our picker out. What are we seeing here? That's the label. Where is the div that sits in this label? The label div, yep, div input. Yeah, like it's not even applying that border to this. Pardon me. Just make sure we're actually applying it to the right div here. I'm looking in the right place. Yeah, so it is definitely not doing what we thought it was going to do. Oh no, there's the padding around it. Okay. Put a border on that. Why is there no border? Like there's no compilation issues. do that. If I go rounded L, do we get any rounding on this div? No. Just want to make sure there's no other like weird rounding stuff near the end that's off the screen. It sure would be nice. I think it's like okay, so set line break equal, say, 80 for now. Of course. Set line break 80. Unknown option 80. Okay. Set wrap on. There we go. Okay. Looks ugly, but it'll do for now. Okay, so let's see. Are there any other rounding things? Rounded L, we just added that. Form input, that shouldn't affect the div next to it. Item center, text SM. If we do rounded R on the input, still's not adding rounding. Well, that is unfortunate. Sure would be nice if it didn't go all over the place every time I refresh the page. I do not know why this is not rounding properly. Tailwind rounded. Okay, so it's rounded, and then the start. Okay, so it's the side and then the size. So if we say rounded R SM, doesn't change anything. Rounded RSM. So that should be a thing. Rounded RSM. And then we want rounded L none. And so what I'm trying to do, just to kind of explain my thought process here, is so these corners on this box, on this div, should be rounded, and these corners on this div should be rounded, but we don't want the corners on these two divs, like the left corners of this div and the right corners of this div. We don't want them to be rounded. We just want them to kind of butt up against each other. And so what I don't understand is, like, this input, we have rounded L none. So that's correct, obviously, but it's not really doing anything anyways. But the rounded RSM should be rounding these two corners. And so rounded L Yeah, like, and then these corners should be rounded right now. But even if we, oops, even if we just put rounded on the whole thing, like, so it does the whole thing, but it won't listen when we're just trying to do rounded on the left. So if we just say rounded LSM, rounded R none, it's going to round none of them, and it's all going to be square. I don't think this is like a new Tailwind thing. Like, I guess we can try and see if there's like an updated package for it or something. Bun upgrade. No, not what I wanted to do, but okay. Bun update. Yep, that's fine. Oops. And now it works. So I guess it was an issue with the package. Okay. Well, that was a big waste of time, but that's okay. So now, good. Okay. So now eventually this will probably just be a drop down. Right now I just want to get something in here. So number of seats. Okay, what else do we got? Seats count. What section? So let us go to so this is going to be section. What section are the seats in? Okay, and again, what did we call this? Just section? Okay, cool. Section. We need to have a value for this. Okay. Okay, so what section are the seats in? How many seats are included for each game? Yep. And any notes? Pardon me. Okay, so let's... Okay, so we will yank this again. Anything else prospective group member should know? Cool. And actually, let's make this a text area. Oh, because, right. Okay, so let's make this. Let's call this marketplace notes. Marketplace notes. Okay, and I will explain why that. What are we missing? Label. So there's something's mixing into the feedback form that we have. Label is fine. Text area. Oh, right. Text area. Not a self-closing tag. Okay, yeah. So what was happening is the feedback form here was showing up in here, obviously. So okay. Anything else a prospective group member should know? I also want this to be rows equals 3. Cool. All right. So the last thing we need is just some kind of button to allow the person to submit those. Place your listing. Now, once, like before this goes live, we will be integrating the payment system so that someone like the new user will, or the admin will have to pay the X amount of money to list. But for right now, while we're just developing this, it's just going to immediately place it. So let's see what the suggestions are. How does that work? Place your listing. Yep, I like that. Only thing I don't like is the text white. Let's go text zinc 900. Place your listing. And font semi-bold. Place your listing. Cool. Obviously that button doesn't do anything, but that's okay. We can add some quick functionality to this because I've got only about 20 minutes here. So wire click. And so this is going to place the listing. Exactly. And so this place listing is going to be a function here on the component. So function, why is my autocomplete not working? Place listing, and it's going to return a no, it's going to return a redirect. Actually, I'm going to immediately close out of here and then come back in. Oops. Because I do not know the fully qualified domain of that. Redirect response as an HTTP. So we are going to say if they've placed the listing, again, we want to this authorize admin this season. They can't do anything without being an admin. And so we want to say, if they've got this far, we want to say this season. And I don't think we have the relationship set up. So let's, we'll just create this search. I'm going to say create buy-in price, yes. New members, yes. Section, yes. That's going to have to change. Buy-in price, new members section. Buy-in price, members section, seats. Seats count. This seats count. Oops. Did we not do one for the seats? place notes. Oh, we didn't. Okay. And we will add some validation to this later. It's fine. Okay, and so it's going to create that search, and then we're going to return a redirect to where do we want to send them after they've listed this? Let's send them back to the dashboard for now. Okay. So now I forget how to do Livewire offhand. I think it's just the attributes that you apply. So validation. Okay. So we can also validate. Yeah. So here's what we want. So the ticket season has to exist. Public buy-in price needs to be. Can we do a? Okay. So yeah. Well, let's start off here. So we're gonna say, yeah, validate. Yes, and we want it to be. This is required, obviously, and it should be a numeric. Yep. I'm going to validate this, and this is required and integer. Pretty sure that's a thing. Laravel validation. IP integer. Okay, so yeah, so that is a valid validation type. So section is just validate. It's required. We don't, because there's so many different formats of sections, we're just going to let them enter whatever. This needs to be an integer. Yep. And marketplace notes is validate. Now this is not required. So we don't even need to do any validation on that because that's fine. Okay. So what do we got? We got this. So if we, so we want to validate on the place listing. This validate, and there is an, do we need to, I feel like there's like we have to use something for validation. No, apparently not. Okay. Haven't been updated. Okay. I thought there was like another use statement that you had to use for validation, but that's fine. Okay, so. Okay, well, let's just give it a try. It's going to error out because we don't have the relationship set correctly, but that's okay. So $10 to join the season. We're looking for one new member. Actually, let's try and break this first. Cost. In fact, I want to change that to, instead of cost, I want it to be the buy-in price. To be more in line with what we actually call it here. So buy-in price, so we're going to say $100. We're looking for this many members. Obviously that's going to break. This will be fine, but that's fine. Seats. And actually I'm just realizing now we don't have any actual error display to show what the errors could be, but that's okay. Okay, so this should not do anything. Yeah, it's not doing anything. So we need to display some errors. So where do we want to display them? I'm thinking div class equals text red 500. We'll just errors. I don't think this format is going to work, but sure, we'll try it. And error. I'm just going to go here. Blade templates. And there is, where's the showing errors? Components, anonymous components, validation errors. This is what we want. Oh, okay. So it is that, and then so we can just go. This is new members. Okay, so let's just check to see if this couple works. And we'll deal with the rest later. Okay, so that's the buy-in price. Buy-in price must be a number. Awesome, it's telling us right away. New members field must be an integer. So if we do this, that should go away. Beautiful. I think I actually want to put this here. The only reason I'm doing that is this looked really far down. Yeah. So we'll say width full text SM font bold. Members field must be an integer. Okay, let's put this underneath. Yeah, that looks better. And then we'll just put some margin top on the top to space it out a bit. MT2. Must be an integer. Okay, cool. So let's yank that. And cool, so now this should show up underneath. Or not. Oh. Buy-in price. Okay, so now that should show up underneath there. Yeah, buy-in price field must be a number. New members field must be an integer. Cool. Okay, so let's get rid of this blank line and this one and that one. And now we can yank this. Section. Seats. Okay, I think I'm going to yank and put these all in the right place first because pasting is annoying. Okay, cool. So we can change this into marketplace notes. And I'm aware that like some of these don't have any actual validation set up on them. That's fine. I'd rather them never be used than like decide to put validation on stuff later and realize, oh, I never put the error display and people are just confused as to why their stuff isn't validating. So, okay. So now seats, why is seats count field is required. Okay. Oh, right. And so we can actually put in some validation here as well about greater than or equal to 1, right? Because like a seat, if we put 0 for seats, yeah, the seats count field must be greater than or equal to, because you have to list at least one seat, right? How many new members are you looking to add to the group? So we can do that for this one as well. GTE1. And this has to be greater than 0. Like you can't list tickets for 0. Actually, you know what? People can list them for 0. But they can't list them for less than 0. Okay, so marketplace notes can be anything. Section is required. So if we just try and submit these, yeah, the section field is required. Cool. Buy in price. New members. 9, sure. If we don't include anything there like that, still going to say section field is required. 394. So if we place our listing, yeah, okay. So this is where I was saying the relationship doesn't exist. So that's fine. So let's go create that relationship. Ticket season. Yep. Okay, so function search is going to return a has one. Return this has one ticket season search class. Yes. Let's try and place it again. Call to a member function create on null. Okay, so I think that's because I'm using the relationship and not the method. So I think I need to go like that. Marketplace notes must not be accessed before initialization. Okay, so we will say marketplace notes. It's just going to be blank if to start out with, since it's not really required. That's fine. And do we have this correct? No, this needs to be just notes. Ooh, don't know what happened there. And finally, on the search, ticket season search, fillable needs to have all of these things. So seats, count, notes, new members is active, section, is active, new members, buy-in price. Section notes. Okay. Oops. Place your listing. Property notes not found on components. Oh, because I got that backwards. Notes, and it's this marketplace notes. That's what I'm trying to do. Place listing, return value must be of type. Okay, so we need to have a redirector instead, or in addition to. Redirector. Sports redirects, yes. Redirector. Listing. Look at entry 1 for key, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it actually created it, it just didn't. Okay, so if we go to the marketplace now, you actually see Toronto Blue Jays, sweet. Okay, so the only thing we need to do is, what do we want to do? We need to get the logo correct. So let's delete those, since those are just the temporary ones that we don't actually need. And then if we go to our marketplace item, right now we are hard coding that image. So if we go, what is it, team? No. Item, ticket season, team logo URI. We now have the logo up there. Okay, so that's the other thing we need to do is, so we're storing the price as an integer, so like 324. So on the page when we went to create the listing, it asked for how many dollars, and I put $324. But then it's saving it as $3.24. So what we really need to do is we need to create an observer, and so we basically want to. How do we want to do this? Let's go to SQL Ace, and let's just delete this. Okay, so that should be gone. That's fine. So if we say 324.90, so in the database, what is it showing up as? 325, right? So we need to basically multiply the given amount by 100. So let's go art make observer ticket season search observer. I think there's ticket season search. Pardon me. Ticket search. Okay, so what we want for the creating and the updating. So we're going to private function dollars and cents to int. It's going to return an int. We're just going to say return price times 100. And so on each of these, we're going to say ticket season search. And this is just going to be buy-in price. Okay, so we'll delete this one again. And now if we go to here and we say 324.90, oh, right, we have to register the observer, I believe. So if we go to our event service provider, observers, yes, we need to say ticket season search. Ticket search. Okay, so right now there are no searches available. If we place one with 324.90, this should become 32,490 in the database. Uh, 32,489 in the database. Oh, it's odd, but okay. Marketplace, and now 324.89. Now I'm not sure why it subtracted 1 cent. I'm sure that's a floating point thing that we will have to deal with. But unfortunately, I have to go. So to kind of review here, needs a lot of work, yeah. So basically what we did today, we obviously got the formatting of the money on there. We worked on some spacing. We got these looking generally okay. Obviously, this is just a test one, so that's going to need some work. But in real life, like there will be a real section there. How many seats are there? This all looks, you know, I'm not a designer, so I know it's not great, but it's definitely better than it was when we started the stream today. We have the we don't have the filter, but we do have the form to allow an admin to create a new search. We just have to add the link to the admin season route, but we'll work on that tomorrow because I will be back tomorrow. I've got probably 2 or 3 more hours tomorrow that I can dedicate to this, maybe even more. So yeah, by tomorrow, I basically want this more or less complete. And I think that's a reasonable goal considering what's left. So If you haven't already, if you can follow me on Facebook, or not Facebook, on YouTube, at youtube.com/ at nexe_dev. If you're watching me on Twitch, if you can follow me there, just twitch.tv/nexe. Thanks again for tuning in. We got a whole bunch more done. This is looking awesome, and this feature is definitely going to be done by the end of the week, which is the goal that we had set out to meet. So thank you very much for joining, and I will see you tomorrow. Later.